We have to learn about. Let us quickly reiterate through what we have learned in the morning. Okay, tell me, students, what are general purpose registers? How many we have used in our illustrations? Right, very good, Sirisha. Seven. What are they? Tell me what are they?
R1, R2, R3.
Very good, Rupa. And do you remember that organization, general purpose register organization? We have got two multiplexers. It has got eight inputs, seven inputs. It is
Decoder,
receiving.
ma'am.
Yeah, one there is one decoder as well. Seven inputs it is receiving from registers, and one input it is receiving from external source. And there is a decoder connected to registers that determine which register is chosen for the output, and multiplexers would decide which registers input to be forwarded to the ALU. ALU
Control
performs the
word.
operation. Yeah, there is a control word. In that you have 5 bits of OPR, 3 bits of selection D lines, 3 bits selection B lines, and 3 bits selection A lines. Very good. Next is about stack organization. A stack is a LIFO. LIFO is last in, first out.
First out.
Yeah, it is. You might have learned stack. Do you know the application of stack where it is used actually in a computer system?
TBML, ma'am.
Hmm? Please once again repeat.
In database management, ma'am.
Oh, where
In data
in
structure.
database management? Where in DBMS? In memory. Yes, very good. Stack is used in memory. How stack is used in memory? In memory, you whenever you make a function call, you add in the stack, and whenever you are returning from function, you pop, remove from the stack. That way you can keep track of function calls in a stack. This is one application, keeping track of function calls. Stack is included in the CPU of the most systems. Stack is a storage device. It is like used in memory. That stores information in such a manner that the item stored last is the first that is retrieved. Stack in digital computer is essentially a memory unit. In a memory, you have a stack. A part of memory can be a stack. The register that holds the address for the stack is called a stack pointer. What is a register? It is a part of processor. Within a processor, there is a register called a stack pointer (SP) that holds the address for the stack, and its value always points at the top item in the stack. There are two operations that are performed on the stack for insertion and deletion, which are known as push and pop respectively. Push is to add the element, that is to insert the element into the stack, and pop is to remove the element from the stack. Let us look at this register stack. A large portion of the memory is organized as a stack, and a stack can be placed in a memory, or it can be organized as a finite collection of memory words or registers. Anything which you have the property of last in, first out. It can be a portion of memory, it can be a memory, it can be registers. The following figure shows organization of 64 word register stack. Register stack is nothing but there are these registers R1, R2, R3, R4 placed on top of one another, thus forming a stack. The stack pointer register SP contains a binary number whose value is equal to the address of the word that is currently on top of the stack. This is the stack. There is another register which is known as stack pointer that stores the address of the top of the stack. And in this particular illustration, there are three elements. The size of this stack is 64 words. The range is 0 to 63. There is this stack pointer that stores the address of the top of the stack. There are these two flip-flops that indicate whether the stack is full or empty. Can anyone tell me when we have to check whether the stack is full and when we have to check whether the stack is empty?
Ma'am, can you repeat the question once again?
My question is, we have got two flip-flops. These flip-flops are nothing but they can store 0 or 1. Single bit of information, 0 or 1. What is the use of this two flags? They are known as flags. And when do you use full flag and when do you use empty flag? And what is the need to check whether it is full or not, empty or not?
Ma'am, we can determine whether the stack is overflow or underflow by using these two flags.
Yes, or very good. But when do you do that? When do you check whether it is full?
For every
For every?
insertion.
Yeah, exactly. Very right. For every insertion, you have to check whether the stack is full. When stack gets full, insertion operation cannot be performed, and you generate a message for the user stating that stack is full, no more items can be added. When do you check empty?
Pop. For every
Yes.
pop.
Yeah, pop. When you are doing pop operation, if you try to pop an element from an empty stack, there is nothing to be given to the user or to be retrieved by the user. Therefore, a message has to be printed stating that the stack is empty. Okay, that is absolutely right. And then there is one DR, which is data register. This is data register DR, which can get the value from stack and store in itself. All right. Next is these statements, SP equal to SP plus 1. When do you increment stack pointer?
After pop, maybe.
After
Pop, ma'am.
pop, why do you increment? You have to decrement. Look at here. This is a stack. Here there are elements. This is
Ma'am,
SP.
stack pointer is like program counter in register.
Yeah. Yes, it is like program counter register, which is program counter will store the address of the next instruction. A stack pointer will store the address of the top of the stack. This top, if you look at here, SP is pointing to the top of the stack. When it has to be
Okay,
incremented,
ma'am. Ma'am, when pop operation is done, then the SP will be incremented by 1.
when you increment, it goes up, not down. So when you are doing pop operation, if you are incrementing, SP would come here.
Okay.
Now you tell me the answer. You tell me the answer.
Push operation, ma'am.
Yes.
Push. For
Yeah,
every
exactly.
push operation,
Exactly. Very good. For push operation, you have to increment the pointer because SP is pointing to the top. This is the last item that has, added into the stack. Apparently, you are willing to add another item. For that, you have to increment the SP value so that SP points to the next address wherein you can add the element, next element. Here SP equal to SP plus 1, this is incrementing. Following this statement is the statement that adds the contents of DR into memory of SP. Memory of SP is what? This is M memory. SP is pointed to the top. Now top is empty location. To this you are adding DR. In DR, assume that there is a value to be added or inserted into the stack. Is this clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Here, if SP equal to 0, then full equal to 1. What does this mean?
stack is full.
Why stack is full? Look at here. If stack is this much, if SP is here, the last location of the stack, subsequently when you increment this, SP would go here. Means it would go to the 0th location. When SP is 0, then full equal to 1. All right. And
Okay, ma'am.
mark the stack not empty. Empty equal to 0. Empty 0 means it is not empty. Empty 1 means it is empty. And here what is this operation? This is the operation for performing. Elements are there 15, 8, 10. SP is here. M of SP is pointing to the 10th element. The element value is 10. All right. It is not the 10th element. Essentially, it is the value of the element which is 10. So that you are copying into DR. Okay. Subsequently, you are decrementing. Now, after you retrieve this value, it is like you have popped this element. After you pop this element, you have to decrement the stack pointer. If stack pointer is decremented, and a check has to be made. If stack is empty, after popping, if SP gets value 0, means you pop this item, you pop this item, you pop this item, SP would become 0 eventually. When SP is 0, empty is set to be 1 and full is set to be 0. These two are performed after push operation. After adding an element, if it is 0, then it is full. After removing an element, if it is 0, again it is not full, rather it is empty. Understand, student, this concept?
Yes, ma'am.
Now memory stack. How we will implement it?
Ma'am, can you explain once again what will be the stack pointer after pushing and what will be the stack pointer after pop?
All right. Let us take an example. This is our stack. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 elements you can have. This is 0 and this is 4. Here you have SP, you have empty, full. Consider that SP is at second location. This is SP pointer. You are willing to perform push operation. To perform push operation, SP has to be incremented. SP equal to SP plus 1. When SP is incremented, presently SP is 2. 2 plus 1 is equal to 3. So now SP is 3. Because SP is 3, it is pointing here. And now you can insert an element. Suppose you have inserted an element 12. All right. Now, consider that again you are calling push. This is push with the 12 parameter. This is push with 9 parameter. When you say push of 9, SP is incremented. SP is incremented and SP is pointing to fourth element. So it gets a value 9. After it gets a value 9, now stack is full. Again, if you increment SP, SP is 4 now. For the next iteration, if you increment SP, SP would become 0. Why it becomes 0? Because the length of stack is up to 4 only. After 4, it should get 0 again. It is like a cycle, 0 to 4, back to 0. When SP is incremented again, SP would get a value 0. Let us say again you are calling push operation, push of 11. SP is incremented. When you increment SP from 4, it becomes 0. When SP is 0, you have to indicate that it is full. You cannot further insert any more items. So essentially, full is a flag that indicate that stack is a full presently. This is about push operation. For pop operation, consider that same stack you take. This is 15, 8, 10, 12 and 9. Stack, okay. Here you call pop. When you call pop, stack value is now 4. It gets 3 because it has to be decremented. Now this element is popped. Again you call pop. The second call of pop makes the stack pointer 2 and this element is retrieved. The third call to the pop turns out to make the stack pointer to 1. Stack is pointing here. This is retrieved. After you pop again, 8 is retrieved, and now stack pointer is here. After you pop, once again you call pop, fifth time, stack pointer from 0, it cannot be decremented. The stack pointer will remain to be 0, and empty is set to 1 and full is set to 0. When full is set to 1, empty is set to 0. For this one, it will be 0. And for this one, here it will be 0. When SP gets 0, further if you call pop, you cannot decrement because it's over. The range is completed. So then what happens? You set the empty flag to be 1 and full flag to be 0. It indicates that the stack is empty now. Okay, students, understand? Can I move ahead?
Yes, ma'am, understood.
Very good. So memory stack. Let us look at the memory stack. This is computer memory. This portion is the stack portion. This portion. What I am referring to, which memory, can anyone tell now here? When I say computer memory, to which memory I am referring?
RAM.
Very good.
Random
It is
access
RAM.
memory.
Yeah, exactly. It is RAM. So in the RAM, you see here you have program. Upper part of the RAM is reserved for programs or instructions. Middle part is for data operands, and the lower part is for stack. This part. And there is a stack pointer which is pointing to the top of the stack. There is a data register which holds the data to be supplied to the stack or to memory.
Ma'am,
All right, this is the same thing.
ma'am, while explaining, you explained that, I mean, from top to bottom, from bottom to top, the values of the stocks are increasing, but in this figure, these are decreasing now.
Yes, very good observation. That's what I am intending you to understand, that nothing is fixed here. It is to show different alternatives for you. Now, when you try to understand the real computer system of Intel or of Apple, you may find differences, and then you will realize that, okay, this is possible, this is also possible. Here, the address is beginning from the top, like 1000, 2000, 3000 and all. You might have seen sometimes we write S0, S1, S2 from right. Sometimes we may write S1, S0, S1, S2 from left. Anything is possible. It is all about, something. We write English from left, A, B, C, D. There is a Urdu language that we write from right. From here we write. This is also right. This is also right. Nothing is wrong. This is depending on its context. It is depending on its context. Like that, you can have different variations, different ways to do the things. In Intel and Apple also, in internet, when you learn computer networks, in that there is a concept. There is a concept that if you send 0005 from Intel machine to Apple machine, Apple will read this as 5000. That's why there are set of protocols, TCP/IP protocols. What this does is, it does all sort of conversions and all, make the communication on the internet standard. Otherwise, in Intel machine, this is the low order bit. When it pass low order bit, Apple machine assumes that whatever it is receiving is the high order bit. Whatever it receives first, it consider it to be high order bit. So 5 will become 5000. there is always a scope of variation that you need to cover through standardization. That's why you have this standard protocol on the internet. Do you understand now? Yes, who asked me the question? Did you understand what I meant? Students, if you
Yes,
Ma'am,
ma'am.
if you don't, I can elaborate further. Yes means let us go ahead. So here you can see whenever it is decrementing, which operation it is?
Pop.
Pop. Whenever it is incrementing, it is
Push.
push. Now comes the that is all background information about stack. Now the application will be studied. Application of stack. We human beings prefer infix notations for evaluating expressions. For us, 6 plus 5 minus 4 divided by 2 into 10. This is this convenient to do, or plus 6 5 minus 4 divided 2 into 10? Is this convenient to understand, or first one?
first
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 one.
one,
one.
because we are tended to understand this is known as infix notation. In infix notation, the operator comes in the middle of the operands. 6 5 are operands and plus is the operator. So it is coming in between the operands. For computer system, this notation is quite hard. For computer system, this prefix or postfix notation is relatively easy to understand and evaluate. There is the primary purpose of stack organization is also for the evaluation of arithmetic expressions. The common method of having this infix notation is pretty difficult when it is evaluated by a computer system. So the common method is the infix notation. In infix notation, you find the operator in the middle of the operands, in between the operands. And computer faced difficulties to evaluate such expressions. There is a mathematician, a Polish mathematician, Lucas Weiss. He showed that arithmetic expressions can be represented in the form of prefix notation. Prefix means operator is before the operands. Prefix, pre means before. This is known as Polish notation because this mathematician has suggested that the expression can be represented in the form of prefix. That's why it has been named after him, um, saying that it is a Polish notation. When you put the operator after the operands, it is postfix or reverse Polish notation. Because now the operator has gone after the operands, apparently it is reversing the position of the operand. Therefore, it is known as reverse Polish notation. And reverse Polish notation is a form suitable for stack manipulation. How do you write reverse Polish notation? Let us look at this example. A into C plus D plus C into D. How can you represent this in the form of reverse Polish notation? You first write A and C, and then what operation you have to perform? This
Multiplication.
multiplication, right?
Multiplication.
Exactly, multiplication. So operator will go after two operands. Following this, if there is a uh, priority given to the operators. So how do you evaluate this expression? Can anyone tell me? Do you sequentially evaluate from left to right, or you have got any pattern to be followed?
Ma'am, we have to follow operator precedence first. I
Very,
think so.
yeah, you whatever
Yeah,
you
A into B plus C into D.
exactly, you are right. What is operator precedence or the priority given out of this is priority one and priority one. And after you do this is first you have to perform this and you have to perform this. After you complete, now this is first operand and this is second operand. This plus is 2. This is 1, this is 1, and this plus is 2. It has its precedence is 2 in this expression. So how do you represent that? BODMAS. Very good. It will be using BODMAS. So what you do is you see A into C has to be done first. So A, C into D has to be done first. So C, D into. Now we got the here we got the result of A into C and here we got the result of C into D. These are now two operands and you place plus after them. 2 plus what are the operands? The result of A into C and the result of C into D. Understand, students?
Yes, ma'am.
Let us do this with the help of an example. Can anyone tell me now? See, how do you represent this 3 into 4 plus 5 into 6 and what is the result? Quickly.
Ma'am, 3, 4 star, 5, 6 star, then plus.
Yeah, what is the final result?
42.
Let us look at how computer does that. 3, 4 star, 5, 6 star plus. You are absolutely right. How computer evaluate that? Look at here, computer also got 42. But computer has not done in the way you did. What you did? First you say 3 into 4 is equals to 12. Then you say 5 into 6 is equals to 30. Then you perform addition and you get the answer. But this is not the way computer perform that. Computer a 3, 4 star, 5, 6 star plus. It uses a stack to evaluate this expression. It pushes. What does it push? Whenever it gets an operand, it pushes. Whenever it gets an operator, it performs pop operation of the last two elements that it has pushed and execute that operator. So 3, 4 star. 3, what is 3? 3 is a
Operand.
Operand.
3 is an operand. Operand means push. So now 3 has pushed into the stack. What is 4?
4 is also operand.
Operand. So which operation?
Multiplication, ma'am, then.
No.
Multiplication.
No, ma'am, push
What I said just
operation.
push operation. Whenever computer encounters any operand, it pushes that operand in the stack. Whenever it finds an operator, then it pops the last two elements and execute the operation. Now, the third time it encounters operator, what it has to do? What it does? Whenever it receives an operator, it performs pop operation, pop of last two elements. So it performs pop, pop of 4 and pop of 3. Then what does it do? It performs multiplication and it obtains value 12 and it pushes this 12 into the stack. Up to this point, is everything clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Now it is receiving an operand. What it has to do?
Push, ma'am.
Push. So you see after 12, now 5 has been pushed into the stack. It encounters another operand. Which operation?
Push operation only, ma'am.
Push. So can you see here? It is 6 is also pushed into the stack and this is top. This arrow is pointer, means which is a top pointer. Further, the next input is an operator.
Operator.
Now what happens?
6 and 5 pop.
Exactly.
Pop of 6 and
Pop 6, pop 5, perform multiplication, obtains
Then
result
result is
30
pushed.
and push 30. You can find here whatever step I explained, this step is that. Later, it encounters plus. What does it do?
Pop, ma'am.
What does it pop?
Pop.
Last two. What are the last two? 30 and 12.
And 12.
So
12.
when it encounters plus, it pops 30 and it pops 12. What operation
12.
it has to perform? Plus. It is a
Addition.
plus. So now it is 42. 42, it pops into a stack.
Ma'am, push, ma'am. 42 is pushed into the ma'am.
Exactly. Sorry. It is push. 42 is pushed into the stack. And it starts reading further. Apparently, there is nothing further to be read. It stops and it returns 42, which is the right answer for this expression. Is this clear?
Yes, ma'am.
clear, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Very nice. So let us stop our class here. Instruction format we will see in our next class. All the best for your exams.